As photographers, we have all been in a situation, rather that be indoor or outdoor, where the lighting is just not good. And sometimes the equipment that we have may be good in low light, and sometimes it may not be. But sometimes, even if it is good in low light, our images still come out either super grainy or we have to sacrifice with low shutter speeds. In this video, I'll be helping you guys solve that exact problem. So that way you can still keep super sharp photos, and at the same time, you don't have to deal with non-usable, really grainy photos. What's on YouTube, guys? To another video. If your day's not going good, I hope tomorrow is better. Now subscribe to the subscribe button, notification bell. If you are subscribed, thank you for your loyalty. Man, I have missed y'all, man. I have missed doing these videos, and I have a lot more coming up, but it was just super hectic with the streams, the rating videos, the POV videos. But as football season is coming to, you know, the back end of things, which is playoff season, I have a little extra time to go ahead and get a lot more of these videos done. So y'all already know when I do my informative videos like this, you feel me? We take notes over here, man. I ain't just gonna be spitting off the dome. Although I know this information, I wanna make sure I'm presenting you guys with the best possible and the most accurate information to help y'all in any situation you can be in. There are two ways I'm gonna teach you guys how to deal with low light situations when it comes to taking photos. One solution is gonna be in camera, which is gonna be while you're at the shoot, and the other solution is going to be editing. This first solution, which can honestly help with video as well, is actually really important that you know this information for video and photo, and that is native ISO. Native ISO is the range of ISO settings that the camera can naturally produce without any type of digital enhancements or manipulation. Once any type of digital enhancements or manipulations are added, meaning once you get out of that range of your native ISO to your camera, that's when you start to see that super high grain and noisy pictures and noisy videos. That's because it's not your native ISO anymore. So pretty much the camera is, if you would, taking the image that you're naturally seeing from your sensor, and if you're raising the ISO beyond its native ISO, it's pretty much upping the exposure as if you were in Lightroom or Adobe Premiere Pro. It's literally just like upping it a stop or two stops depending on how much you raise the ISO. And as we all know, if you're editing a photo and you increase the exposure too much, it starts to invite grain and the photo starts to lose its quality and its dynamic range and everything like that. So that's pretty much an explanation of what native ISO is and what happens when you go beyond that or below it, honestly. An example of a native ISO is like in picture profile S-Log3, my Sony A1's native ISO is 800, right? That's just an example of a native ISO. But that's just my camera. All cameras have their own set native ISOs, but not just cameras. Picture profiles also have their own set native ISO. While one picture profile's native ISO may be 800, the other's picture profile native ISO may be 640. You know what I mean? So you have a lot of range of that, and there's a lot of different things that I'm pretty sure a lot of beginning and entry-level photographers and videographers may not even know it's this important when it comes to choosing their picture profile based off of situation and scenarios that they are naturally in. When you start to kind of go up in terms of the quality of the camera that you have, you get into the field of dual ISO. So when you hear the term dual ISO, that pretty much just means you have two native ISOs, which are at two drastically different ranges. So that way it's kind of beneficial in two different types of scenarios. For example, once again, my Sony A1 and S-Log3, its base native ISO is 800. Its highest level ISO is 12,800. I'm showing it on the screen now. Me personally, that 16,000 look a little better than that 12,800, but I don't know. It looks a little cleaner. I don't know. As you can see on the screen right now, as I'm going up, the grain is being increased. Even by 10,000, it's increased. But once I touch that 12,800 and that 1,600, the noise, it cleans up the image, because now I'm back into that second native ISO point. You know what I mean? That's why you want to stay within your native ISO range. No matter what it is that you're doing, you want to try to stay there. So if you're outdoor, right? Let's just say you're shooting any type of sport and the lighting just isn't that good, but you still have some. For example, a camera that can have a native ISO as high as 12,000, you are good to have your ISO at that 12,000, which is that native range, and you can have your shutter speed at that 5, 6, 700. 5, 6, 800 doesn't go to 7. I think it just goes straight to 8. But you can still have a pretty high shutter speed while still having a really high ISO. And your image quality will be very clear. What I would just advise you to do is check what your native ISO is on your camera, and if your camera does have dual native ISOs. If it does, that is perfect. If it doesn't, it wouldn't help you as much, because I'm pretty sure it's just gonna have a low native ISO, which would be that, you know, that 800, somewhere around there. You kind of want to get a camera that has that dual native ISO, so you can really have a lot of dynamic range. So that's the one way you can really take photos in low light situations and still produce a really high quality, sharp and usable image. That's how you can do it in camera. Now let's figure out how we can do this when it comes to editing in Lightroom. So as we're over here on this shot here, now this was a low light situation, but being that I was shooting at a native ISO, the grain is not that bad. It's not that bad at all. It was really dark out there. It's still a really sharp image. It could have been a little sharper, like certain parts like right here, but everything for the most part is pretty sharp about this shot, right? Let's just say I wanted the shadows on this image to be a lot higher than what they are now. If I up the shadows all the way, now we can start to see a lot more grain in this image. But let's just say overall, I like the look of it. What if I even wanted it a little bit brighter than this? You know, and I wanted to bring the blacks up and the whites up. You know, what if I just wanted the shot to be like this, right? It's really unnatural. It's not naturally this bright, but I wanted to go ahead and add it. So now we got a bunch of grain here, and I just really don't like it. So what you can do, which Lightroom is so amazing about, and which I always used to preach about, just using noise reduction, right? But the manual noise reduction, it's just nowhere near as good, just because it kind of flattens out the texture of the entire image. So now his whole body just looks like clay. It's not good, right? So we take that off completely. It's really grainy, right? We go to denoise, AI, denoise, and you just, honestly, bro, not set it and forget it, because you still got to adjust a couple things with how much denoise you want. You go here and it kind of shows you what the image actually looks like and what it would look like when you denoise it. Let's just say, right, amount of denoise, if I wanted to do none, this is what the shot would look like. But let's just say I'm gonna do 86, I want to do 100. 100 is a little too much for me. I kind of want a little bit of grain there because I want that natural look, but I can go ahead and just put it at maybe like 75, right? I'm cool with that. Estimated time 10 seconds, enhance. And after that, boom, boom. Now you look at your subject. Subject is still sharp. Subject is still sharp. And something you can also do, let's just say you did need to denoise a lot, because the noise in the background that was just there, it's gone. And this photo is still as bright. The shadows are still up. The exposure is still high. And let's just say, I still wanted my subject a little bit sharper. You know, you go to create mask, you go to subject, bring the texture up. Bring the texture up, and then listen, bring the sharpness up. Now you just have a super sharp subject, super duper sharp. Look how sharp this image is. Which, kudos to the Sony A1, of course, but y'all saw what it would look like if I just did manual denoise over the whole thing. So AI has been super amazing in making things a lot easier for a lot of people, and the grain over here is non-existent at this point, right? And this is where the photo originally was in terms of how dark it naturally was versus where it is now. And like, there's no noise, bro. There's no noise. It's insane. It's actually really, really insane. And the beautiful thing about this, you don't have to do this manually between photos. If you wanted to go ahead and select, let's see, what is this? 900 or 195 photos. You do this, you right click, you go to enhance, and you can denoise literally a whole bunch of photos. So you can edit all your photos how you naturally want them, but if it's way too much noise, you can denoise everything at once. It's gonna take some time, of course, and it'll let you know how much time. And bro, it's amazing. It's amazing. Like, AI has been super amazing for the photography community, only if they could do this with video. They can do this with video, man. Listen, they might be on to something. I don't know. And with that, that's pretty much it. Those two simple things would make it so that you can shoot in damn near any environment when it comes to photos, right? And if you really just follow those native ISOs when it comes to video, you should be pretty fine in any situation as well. I hope this does help a lot of people out, especially as we start to get to indoor sports, because I know sometimes football fields can be a little bad when you're shooting at night, but basketball, man, a lot of these courts have really terrible lighting, and it can sometimes be just as hard to shoot there. So I just know this is gonna be beneficial for a lot of people. I know it's gonna help me a lot this upcoming basketball season, so I just had to share that information. Other than that, thank you guys so much for watching this video. Thank you for all the support. I didn't thank you guys for 11K, but I appreciate you guys for 11K. And we're just gonna keep grinding out for the rest of this year. I got a lot of big things happening, and yeah. Other than that, once again, I know I say it all the time, but I really do appreciate you guys. All the people that are new to the channel, if you're your first video watching, subscribe, join the community. Other than that, definitely drop likes out to the channel. Definitely check out the merch in the link in the description down below. Definitely check out the preset link in the description down below. We got preset pack V2 coming soon. very soon. Before basketball season starts, it's gonna be dropping. And do not forget, most of all, click that Discord link in the description down below. Join the DTV Army Discord, man. It's an amazing photography and videography community. A bunch of creatives in there, graphic designers, everything. You ask a bunch of questions about editing, shooting, share your experiences, get help with whatever it is that you need. It's amazing. It's like a big Reddit page, but instead of waiting, everybody's typically active in there. We have over 800 members in there already. We're trying to get to 1,000 before the year's over. Also doing a Discord giveaway at 1,000, so make sure you hop in there, okay? All right, bet. That's gonna be all for me. I appreciate you guys so much. Don't forget to drop a like, subscribe to the channel. Never see creative. See you next one.